Okay, everybody, welcome in. It is 12:29 a.m. Central Time on Monday, April 28th, 2014, and this will probably be my last severe weather update for the night, unless something else goes wrong over the next several hours. Now, if you've been paying attention to what's been going on over the last couple days, mainstream media has been trying to warn the nation about this impending severe weather outbreak. It has occurred, and it continues to occur now throughout the night, and it's going to carry on into tomorrow. We're going to need to be aware in the states east by northeast of the states that were already hit. Now you can see the giant rotating low pressure system here, and it's currently centered now over Kansas and Nebraska, pulling due north, almost north by northwest, back around, literally back west. As it's doing that, you can see the severe snow outbreak. Let's go ahead and turn on the winter weather alerts. And when I say severe, there are actual warnings and watches and advisories issued for up here to the north and to the west in Utah. Also, let's go ahead and turn on the severe weather alerts here from the National Weather Service. They expanded the tornado watch area all the way down here to Austin now. And we have several spots in here. These yellow spots are severe thunderstorm actual warnings, not just watches. So it's spreading. It's actually spreading to the south and to the southwest as the storm rotates. Let's go ahead and look at this on College of DuPage here. This will show us a little bit better. And I'll turn on the color enhancement here. Okay, so the system pulled down here to the southwest, and you can go watch my previous video that I did a few hours ago if you want to get up to speed on what caused all this. But now the storm is rotating back to the northwest. You can follow this track up into the north, and it's pulling back to the west. You can see the storms kick off here in the Midwest as it takes that big, deep gulp of moisture off the Gulf of Mexico and pulls it up to the north and mixing it with that cold air behind. We're looking at like 30 to 40 degree temperatures behind and about 70 to 80 out in front of the storm. We can look at this multiple different ways. Here on a telecast, this looks like it just updated, and we have another possible tornado detected over Arkansas. Now, Arkansas, guys, multiple people have been killed. Over on, let's see, I've got a post on my YouTube or on my Facebook page here. This comes from a viewer who flew a drone over the affected area in Arkansas, and it goes on and on for several minutes. I'll just arrow through this here really quick so you guys can see what's up, but we're talking major damage down there. There's people screaming for help in the woods. Okay, here's some shots here, and this is breaking across mainstream media down in Arkansas. Unfortunately, they're not out of it yet. Now, the area that was in question was here in northwest Arkansas. Now the storms are pushing east by northeast. Looks like we do indeed have another possible tornado detected over the Conway, Greenbrier, Beebe, Arkansas area, just north of Little Rock. And it's pushing, let's see, north by northeast. Now, I'm here in St. Louis. Let's go back over to Weather Channel here. Here in St. Louis, we're going to have to watch out probably till about 3 in the morning or so. The way these storms are going, let me go ahead and turn all this off so you can just see the storms. These are all going east by northeast. So you can see this line of storms here. It's going to come right up over, let me turn down the opacity so you can see St. Louis. Come over St. Louis, and then it's going to head up over Illinois towards Chicago. And that's this line of storms here to the southwest of Missouri right now. Also, coming out of Arkansas, you can see the intense storms. That's going to blow up over Illinois and Indiana over the next several hours going into tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, let's jump back over here to College of DuPage. As the storm rotates east by northeast eventually, it will take one more big gulp off the Gulf of Mexico and blast it up here to the north again. And that will be in the states just to the east and southeast of this current outbreak. So going into tomorrow, we're going to have to watch Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, West Virginia, North and South Carolina, Georgia, possibly even Alabama and Mississippi. Now, let me bring you over to the live weather feed page. And again, all these links are down below the video, so if you guys want to follow along, you can just click along on these links. And we have several different feeds from the National Weather Service, and AccuWeather, and Telecast, Unisys. I want to draw your attention to something that started to happen again tonight. Here, this one shows it really well. This is NIU. Okay, you can see a large amount of ionization occurring again. Again, this time in the areas that we're going to need to watch over the next 48 hours. So we can name the states: Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. Anywhere where you see the ionization occurring are areas that we're going to need to watch in the near-term future. Here's another map that shows it great. Okay, so you can see them kick off. You can even see the isolated nature of some of the stations, whereas some of the other stations around are not doing the pulsing. There are certain stations that are, and they're clicking on, clicking off as they pulse the storm. Weather modification, I hate to say it, but that's what I would say it is, okay? It's not just a random coincidence that these areas are being hit 2 days after we see an event like this, then severe weather blows into the area. Now let's go back over to, let's see, IntelliCast, and we're going to hit refresh on this just to make sure we've got the most current image here. And of course, because I'm live streaming and because of the high demand, we're looking at heavy bandwidth time for loading on these different weather feeds. All right, here we go. Now we have 2 possible tornadoes detected, and that would be over western Arkansas and north central Arkansas. Again, this line of storms is really strong. A lot of people have a problem with IntelliCast, so let's jump over to Weather Channel. They're the exact same. Weather Channel purchased IntelliCast and started using their radar system and their Titan storm tracking system last year. So we'll wait for the Weather Channel load, and they do as well have multiple possible tornadoes and hail detected. This is a strength of 11. You can see in this little gray box here, it says strength 11. That goes up to 15 for the Titan storm tracking system. That's the computer detecting what's inside of the storm and possible rotation. If you live in Arkansas, you're not out of it yet. This whole line of storms is going to pass east by northeast, like I've been saying, across the entire state. Also, you can see all the damaging winds. Every little yellow circle is damaging winds. Blue circles are hail, and of course red is tornado. Green is strong cell thunderstorms. So you can see, large lightning strikes and possible hail develop with those as well. Overall, guys, today has been crazy. Going into tomorrow, let's just back this out, look at College of DuPage again. Again, mid-Atlantic states, South Coast, we're going to need to be aware that this is not gone yet, especially the way it's pulling due north, which means you can just expect it's going to pull back around. As it pulls back around, it's going to take another big dip off the south. So you can see the cloud heights here. The temperature indicates the cloud height. Cloud height, of course, indicates possible thunderstorm activity. So you can see the cold cloud tops here indicate a massive outbreak taking just right now. I mean, it's still carrying on through the overnight hours, even without any kind of sunlight playing into this. Let me give you one shot of the northern hemisphere, and we'll turn this on infrared, last 48 images, and we'll do the same thing. We're going to turn on color enhancement. Okay, and there we go. So you can see coming in from the Pacific Northwest a much larger low pressure system, slower moving, of course. This system, so powerful, is actually drawing off of it. You can see it now sucking in off of the Pacific Northwest over North California. When we come back over here, let's go over and look at the West Coast really quick. Okay, you can see damaging winds, strong cell thunderstorms. Also looks like snow and sleet at higher elevations being pulled in off this next storm from this storm. The tight bands of the low pressure system are really pulling in a lot of moisture from areas from other storms now. Now this is going to pass up to the northeast. So tomorrow, if you were to give me, if I were to give you a best case scenario, this might die out slightly for the rest of the night, depending on what the temperatures, again, if we see a cold mix with the hot, that's where we're going to get the major severe weather outbreak. However, if the cold was able to manage to break its way into this, that is, to come in from the south, if it was able to pull this cold blast all the way back down here to the south, we might see it kill the storm, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It's going north. As it goes north, it's going to pull back around. There's no way around it. Tomorrow, be prepared for that on the East Coast. The links are down below for weather monitoring overnight. And again, keep in mind it is, 12:40 a.m. Central Time now. So a lot of people are going to be asleep. There are no tornado watches or warnings issued yet for the areas that are going to get blasted here in, let's say, the next 3 to 6 hours as these storms push east and northeast. You can bet about 3 a.m. the hail, damaging winds. Again, I'm right here, so about 50 miles west of me in Warrenton, let's say. We've got damaging winds, and about 150 miles southwest, all headed my way. In Illinois, I don't need to tell you guys, anywhere across Illinois going up to Chicago, once these storms blow out of Missouri and they blow across the plains of Illinois, they tend to re-intensify. Let me just go ahead and show that to you really quick here. Good example of that. Watch this yellow area here, and you'll see it blow out of Missouri. Once it crosses the Mississippi River, which is this wiggly state line here that defines the edge of Missouri, it blows up. So that's going to carry on. You can see which way it's going to go. It'll probably go just north of Indianapolis and then go up here to the north, where they just had that massive harpering occur up here in Michigan. Don't have time to get into that right now. There might be a tail end of it still showing. Ah, here we go. There it is. You can see both of them here. Okay, so you're going to need to watch the center, the epicenter of each one of these pulses. That would be Marquette, and let's get the town name on this since it's a smaller town that it's in. Oh, Gaylord. Oh yeah, they are. They're real Fockers, if you know what I mean. So be prepared up in North Michigan. Again, the severe weather will be carrying on throughout the night. You can see the snow up here in the northwest. Okay, it's going into May now, and we've got snow reaching all the way down to the border of Kansas. Now, if we get to this point next month where there's still the polar vortex in place, I've been talking about this for now the last several weeks, polar vortex is still parked out up here over Canada. This is a good way to show it to you actually here while I've got you on here. Okay, here's our system right now. Here's the system coming in from the Pacific Northwest down here to the States, up here over Canada. And you can see this click on and click off. That's from the satellite feed. But up here over, let's say, Hudson Bay, that is the actual polar vortex. It hasn't gone anywhere. It rolled back from Greenland back over to North Canada. And you can see what it's doing. It's pulling these systems down from the northwest. Now, the mainstream media keeps saying, get ready for El Nino. Get ready for the heating. Global warming's coming back. We're going to see a dramatic heating in the Pacific soon. Well, meanwhile, we've got storm after storm bringing snow in. Again, just yesterday, 2 days ago, around Los Angeles, at higher elevations, 4,000 to 5,000 feet around Los Angeles and San Diego. Snow. Late April. So, you can see the next system coming. Nothing's going to change here. Until this flow is broken, until the northern polar vortex is actually pushed on back to the North Pole, we're going to see it drag systems down from the northwest, as opposed to pulling it up from the tropical areas. Last year, for instance, perfect example, storm after storm ripped off down here across the equator and pulled up over Mexico. And you remember last year, Texas, just time after time, 4 and 5 foot of hail and strong storms coming out of the southwest. Now we're seeing these come out of the northwest and blow up over the Midwest like 2011. They were comparing this to 2011 over and over again. Well, the same thing that we saw in 2011 was massive amount of manipulation of the weather. And that was frequency manipulation of the weather. So guys, let's just look at this one more time before we sign off here. And I hope these are helping. You can tune into my Facebook page. There's people there commenting from all over the Midwest, posting pictures, letting us know firsthand updates at their house. I cannot stress enough, have a severe weather plan ready and be prepared just in case. There's roughly 50 million people, 50 million, that live in this region that could be affected by these storms. Again, look, high winds all the way from now Kentucky all the way down to South Texas. And high winds is anything over 60 miles per hour, possible damaging winds. And mixed in with that is hail. You can imagine even small hail at 60 miles an hour can be damaging. So if it gets anything larger than a marble size at 60 miles an hour, then you're really looking at a severe problem. Thank goodness Joplin finally out of this mess that you've been in for the last 12 to 14 hours now. Multiple tornado warnings issued throughout this region here. I'm guessing tomorrow we're going to see more of what we saw here on this video. Let me just go ahead and play it for you again so you can get an idea of the kind of damaged. Again, this is really cool. Somebody flew their drone over to get a shot of this, and you can turn on the sound on here, and you can actually hear the drone. It's a real high-powered little engines. Now, they sell these kind of little personal drones with high-def cameras mounted to them now. Maybe purchasing one might not be a bad idea on my part if we're going to be doing some severe weather or storm chasing. This is, I mean, just look at these guys. Look at these trucks. Look at the people in the cars. You got cars knocked over. Look at this car here over on the right. I don't know if you can see that. Now, this person brings it in right at the end, and you can see them get one final look at everything. We've got tornado watches. Those are in light red, and those, again, extend from Texas up through, let's say, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, North Louisiana, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and half the state of Missouri. Those are going to be moved, guaranteed. You're going to see these tornado watch areas move as the storm moves, so you can expect these states here to see this storm blow to the northeast, and that's when they're going to move these warnings. The National Weather Service has been doing this, moving the warnings at the last minute kind of thing for the last couple of years now. It's their new way of, well, they notify county by county. They'll even cut a county in half, notify half the county that a storm's coming, the other half not. Now, they said they were doing that to help because people were getting warnings in areas where they shouldn't be warned. However, in this kind of situation, look, I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry. Some people drive 100 miles to work every day. So if you're going to be going to work in the morning, like a lot of people, come 6 a.m., we're going to be looking at a rush hour traffic situation with severe weather. So be careful, folks, okay? And to those who've been hurt or killed in this storm, you know, I'm sorry for you and your families. And we're trying to get to the bottom of the weather modification angle on this, but I'm not going to go there now. Be safe, guys. Damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes. You know how to prepare. Cheers.